regulators and governments complicit.
Zimbabwe is open for business.
It is the right time to strike now.
In a 4-part series, Al Jazeera's investigative unit goes undercover in southern Africa.
It's black money.
He controls 90% of this government.
Once it's refined, it's practically brand new gold.
Part 1 on Al Jazeera.
Turn dirty money into African gold.
I went to jail for gold when I was 21.
I do roughly about $70-80 million every month.
I do 200 kilos a week.
20 to 50 million a week.
An exclusive Al Jazeera investigation.
There is a hell of a big opportunity to wash money here.
It's a $1 billion money laundering operation
The gold mafia is bigger than the government.
with financial institutions, regulators and governments complicit.
Zimbabwe is open for business.
It is the right time to strike now.
In a 4-part series, Al Jazeera's investigative unit goes undercover in southern Africa.
It's black money.
He controls 90% of this government.
Once it's refined, it's practically brand new gold.
Part 1 on Al Jazeera. It's a $1 billion
Turn dirty money into African gold.
I went to jail for gold when I was 21.
I do roughly about $70-80 million every month.
I do 200 kilos a week.
20 to 50 million a week.
An exclusive Al Jazeera investigation.
There is a hell of a big opportunity to wash money here.
Wow, it's a very good evening to you, our viewers, witnesses, join us live. It is midnight right now, and well, this is the day that Zimbabweans have been waiting for. If you can hear the sound of my voice here, do let me know where you're coming from. This is the day that Zimbabweans have been waiting for, and it's definitely a day that I have been waiting for a very long time, at a professional level. And at a personal level as well. The Al Jazeera documentary comes to
Well,
life.
the
It is
nation has
unleashed.
been waiting for this. I can tell you, Simba. Definitely,
Robert.
Zimbabwe has been waiting for this.
Wilbert, yeah, it's been 4 years.
It is tragic. You know, this is the kind of report that really the nation needs. Because no nation can prosper when you allow this level of corruption and waste of resources. None. You know, I'm looking forward to hearing the document and at least being able to point out some of those people who were involved in this wholesale looting of the nation's wealth. This has been going on for so long. I mean, that is the tragedy with Zimbabwe. You know, we really, you know, no nation can develop when there's so much waste. And it's not as if we didn't know this was going on. I think it was in 2019 that the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe governor, Dr. John Mangula, admitted that the country was losing a staggering 1.2 billion US dollars per year to gold smugglers alone. He wasn't talking of any other mineral, just gold alone. This is how serious the situation is. And when you think the national budget is what? 4 billion US dollars. 4 to 10 billion US dollars. And you're losing 1.2 billion to gold smuggling alone. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. the usual story we hear from the ZANU-PF apologists is, oh, the corruption is everywhere. Yeah, but we have got to look at the level, the extent of the corruption, you know, and that is what this documentary is going to show us. The depth of corruption. Even if we say the national budget is, I don't know, 4 to 10 billion, 1.2 billion in US dollars being lost in gold smuggling alone, that constitutes 12% of the national budget. If you add that on to that, how much is we are losing from diamonds, platinum, lithium, and other resources, including some of the dodgy deals for the import of petrol and other basic essentials. It is unbelievable. No wonder the country is in serious economic trouble. No nation can afford this kind of leakage, this kind of hemorrhage. That is the point, Simba.
And, Wilbert, I just want to go back here and just to announce that today, 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. will be the full broadcast of part 1 of this expose of this
Is it 10 a.m. UK time or Zimbabwe time?
GMT, London time.
Okay.
And then it will be 8 p.m. in the night on television. So 10 a.m. will be on the website, on the Al Jazeera website. Then 8 p.m. will be on television.
I think people must.
So Wilbert, I've just started. It's coming to my memory. And by the way, Wilbert, I'm turning 44. I'm a 44-year-old small lad today. Right. So in 24 hours, I'm turning 44. And so it's so timely. But it's timely not only in my personal life, but also, Wilbert, in my professional career. I want to say here, it was around August, September last in 2018, after the 2018 elections, Wilbert, when after contacting one of the characters who destroyed the Kenyan economy and lying to him, Kamlesh Padney, that I have got his bag here at the RGM airport. Can you come and collect it? And him confirming to me that his employees could have truly left a bag full of gold that he's been transporting in and out of Zimbabwe through the airport. I published soon after that story, and also my interview with the RBZ governor, John Mangujga. It's after that, Wilbert, while yonder in Switzerland, around the time when Oliver Mtukudzi died, that was now in January 2019, I was contacted by Al Jazeera. But it wasn't just Al Jazeera. BBC were also contacting me. It looked like there was a scramble for Simba Chikanza. Why did they want Simba Chikanza? What does Simba Chikanza have? And I was scared, Wilbert, because I thought in my brain that Kamlesh Padney had sent these people to sabotage the story so that the Zimbabwean people don't get to know about it. So they were calling me so that they would hire me, so that they would kill the story. So once I'm on a contract, and you remember, Wilbert, when I said to you, Wilbert, I'm in London. Yeah, I'm at the studios and the like. That was all about it, Wilbert. That is when it started.
Okay.
Wilbert, I refused money. I want to let the Zimbabwean people know, Ndakaramba Mari. I opted for an interview. I said, look, I want you to grill Cyril Ramaphosa instead. I don't want any penny from you. I'm okay. I just want to deal with the Zimbabwean issues because Cyril Ramaphosa in Zurich, right there in Switzerland, had just uttered some falsehoods around the Zimbabwe elections. So I wanted to pin Cyril Ramaphosa down so that we could attend to those pertinent issues about and around our country. So Wilbert, I don't want to talk too much. This is how it began. On one morning, later on, I refused. I actually cut off. I told the Al Jazeera people, I told the BBC people, I don't want to see you. I don't want to have anything to do with you because, you still haven't grilled Ramaphosa. I demanded that they kill Ramaphosa.
Right.
And I also, at that time, I had organized with France 24. And it was France 24 that managed to at least immediately heed to my demand that Mnangagwa be grilled, at least Mnangagwa be grilled. So they managed to catch up with him in Ethiopia. And then Wilbert, later on one morning, I got a phone call at my office. The receptionist tells me there's someone here to see you. I'm like, who? I said, no. I'm not expecting. In 30 minutes, Wilbert, I was at home. In 30 minutes, I'm looking through my window. My shirt was, I was shirtless. And there's a man there. I said, is this a Jehovah's Witness or what? So this was someone from Al Jazeera News Network. And I said, you people, why are you interested in this story about corruption? And you don't want to grill Ramaphosa? I refused to meet him at home. I said, let's go and meet in town. So we met anyway. But I was wondering why they wanted this particular story. They wanted this story. I wanted to grill Ramaphosa. Do you get me?
Right.
But Wilbert, later on, I got impatient. And I apologized that I got impatient because I said, why are you delaying to publish my story? So you wanted to kill my story. Because Wilbert, that was 2019, yeah? 2020, right? Still the story wasn't published. 2021, still the story wasn't published. I'm like, so you wanted to kill my story. That's all you wanted to do. But you know what, Wilbert? Later on, I got more involved, right, in the work. Because this time I'd done my tests and my security checks, and I was assured, I'm assured now that these people, they're serious.
Okay.
I looked at their work. So 2019, and then 2020, so 2021, 2022. Last year again. Wilbert, 4 years. Can you imagine, Wilbert, taking 4 years? A journalist takes 4 years to write one story. One story, Wilbert.
Wow, this is such a big story. I honestly think from the introduction alone, it really sounds like a big story. This, and it is a very serious matter as well. And I'm glad that you stayed the course. Because this is the kind of story where the country, the people need to have their eyes open. And I hope that Zimbabweans out there will seriously look into this story and pay attention, because this is really an important story, Zimbabwe.
But Wilbert, I'm seriously thinking, Wilbert, before it's screened at 10 a.m., I want to invite the spokespersons of the different political parties. I want to invite the spokesperson for Mnangagwa, George Charamba. I want to invite Chamisa's spokesperson. And I want to ask them today, and I want to reveal to them in case they didn't know, right? I am behind this, some of this work, a lot of this work. And Wilbert, the two main characters, the first two, Wilbert, I approached them from day one. I asked Mangojika, Wilbert, in 2018, Mangojika, tell me what is happening with the gold that is leaving the RGM airport. I have still have that interview and his exchange. And Mangojika was not honest in his response. Hubert Angel, also Wilbert. I asked Mnangagwa. I have asked all these people. I told them. It's not like this is coming as a surprise. It's not like Wilbert. There was a political motive to embarrass Mnangagwa. Do you hear me? What I'm trying to say, Wilbert, if this was political, so what I'm seriously thinking, is I will get George Charamba, I will get Chamisa's spokesperson. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And any other party spokesperson. I want to talk to them. I want to ask them here. Look, I want to tell them, look, I have been behind. Do you get me? Some of this work. Are you with me? And I have collaborated some of my work, but this work is not new because you folks, I contacted you. I want to exchange with them because they're obviously right now they're going ballistic. They're calling this political. That's what I'm thinking of it.
I think, Siba, on the political issue is to be expected. You know, this is a regime that is renowned for denying everything. You know, it's a classical case where even if you catch them with their hand in the cookie jar, they will still deny that they are stealing. This is a regime that is well known for denying it. And in this particular case, the fact that a reputable organization like Al Jazeera are screening it, they wouldn't be screening it if they didn't know their facts. And therefore, then if they want to deny it, they should deny it and produce the evidence. You know, they can deny it all they want, but unless they produce the evidence to substantiate their denial, nobody's going to take them seriously. The corruption, in fact, in this particular case, like I mentioned earlier on, I think there was a report, it was 2019, if I'm not mistaken, where the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe governor, Dr. John Mangojika, himself admitted that the country was losing a staggering US 1.2 billion US dollars to gold smugglers. And if that money was not being wasted, the country would not need to borrow money to develop. It will be able to finance its own development. That is how serious this matter is. You know, and I think it is highly commendable that people like yourself have worked hard on the issue. And serious organizations like Al Jazeera have also taken the matter as a serious matter, because this is at the heart of Zimbabwe's development. That is what is at stake here. They can deny it all they want, you know, and unless they produce the evidence, that denial, no one will take it seriously. Simba, I can tell you that much now.
Yeah, but I'm going to be keen to ask them here if they feel that there's politics in this. So I want to invite Nick Mangwana, George Charamba, Nkululeko Sibanda Ofadza Mahere there, any other party spokesperson to come and let's just talk briefly based on what they have seen so far. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that is part of the story. You know, let's hear what they've got to say. Let's hear them say whether they think it is not true. They can tell us how much was being smuggled in gold. You know, and if there's no gold smuggling, let them say it. Let's hear it. We want to hear their story. But this story is important because we have known in Zimbabwe that corruption is a serious problem. But nobody could really put any figures onto it, could point out the people who were involved. And therefore, then for people like yourself and Al Jazeera to work on this project and come up with the evidence and pick out the people who are involved, that is excellent work. That is commendable. And I think the nation really, Nankiri, owes people like yourself a debt of gratitude. This is what makes a nation. If you were wrong, or if Al Jazeera's the information is wrong, that's fine. Invite them. Let's hear them tell us why they believe the documentary is wrong. To just say it's political, that is no excuse at all. What does that mean? Did it happen or did it not happen? If you're saying it happened, but it shouldn't be revealed because revealing it is political, that is a nonsense argument. The nation is in serious economic meltdown right now because corruption has been rampant. As we talk right now, Simba, you and me know millions of Zimbabweans are sitting in the dark because of power, serious load shedding. If that money was invested in building the country's generation capacity, I have worked in the power industry, and I can tell you the projects like Batoka Gorge should have been completed soon after independence, because when the country gained its independence in 1980, the ZANU-PF government was given the feasibility study for Batoka Gorge. They were also given the feasibility studies for Wange, unit number 7 and 8. And recently, they've just said they've commissioned unit number 7. It has taken 40 years to build unit number 7, when it should have been completed soon after independence. Batoka Gorge is still, nothing is happening there. And yet we have been wasting money on gold smuggling, diamond smuggling, platinum, lithium, and so forth. Those are serious issues. I'm really looking forward to listening to this documentary, Simba. And I honestly urge all Zimbabweans there to make sure that they do listen to it and they pay attention to it. And this issue is followed to the full. People like yourself have spent 4 years working on the project, and you've done the country a big favor. That should not be forgotten.
Well, but you know what? I am grateful to the Al Jazeera News Network, because you know what they have done. They're the only news network that was interested in this level of depth. The BBC one, I don't think it would have gone this deep. I don't think it would have stretched to this level. How Al Jazeera works, because there's no bias. Are you with me, Wilbert? They're just pursuing issues.
Point of correction there, Simba. Are you saying they are going to post it at 10 a.m. and then broadcast it 8 p.m.?
Yes.
What you're saying there on announcing there, you're saying broadcast today 10 a.m. I think you meant the other way around.
Yes, sorry. It's 10 a.m., right? Oh, sorry, you're posting and it got website and it got website, video, sorry, webcasting, right? Webcasting. Today, 10 a.m. and it got, and then TV broadcast at 8 p.m.
Right.
Yes, so it's going to be webcast 10 a.m. and then 8 p.m. Right, so I think it's there now. So webcast 10 a.m. and then TV broadcast at 8 p.m. Al Jazeera.
Right, and that's UK time.
Absolutely.
I think this is such a big story, and I hope.
So that's midday Harare, midday Zimbabwe time, and then 10 p.m. Zimbabwe time.
Right.
Someone is saying here, imagine we're talking of a national GDP of 10 billion in Zimbabwe, while other African countries like Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Morocco, Ghana, Kenya, Ethiopia, etc., talk about more than 100 billion annual budget. Gashia Mutomba says Nick Mangwana has already admitted corruption, gold smuggling, but then says the government is working flat out to fight corruption. I'm inviting him to come through on ZimEye today at 8 a.m., 2 hours before the first webcast, so that we can discuss this together. So I was saying I'm really grateful, Wilbert. The tenacity, number one, the determination, the depth, right, that Al Jazeera investigative goes, Wilbert, it's unparalleled. It's unparalleled. Right. Even the Americans, the so-called, bright, whatever, American. Look at all the American news networks, right? A lot of their stories, they're just like tabloid. Are you with me? Yeah. CNN. What is CNN? What have they done that is really dug deep? Yeah. Gotten down, right down there, where really gone into the numbers.
Right. I must admit, I'm looking forward to this, to listening to this 4-part series. It is so important for Zimbabwe. We really need to get to the bottom of the country's corruption problem. The issue of bad governance is what is killing Zimbabwe. I don't know whether you ever read, there was an article that was written by this Japanese intellectual and writer and scholar, Ken Yamamoto. He used to write in the New Zimbabwe. Articles that were published, a few of these articles were published in the New Zimbabwe. And one of the things that he said soon after independence was Zimbabwe had the potential of becoming the South Korea of Africa in terms of development and freedom and prosperity. And yet, look where we are now. We are one of the poorest countries in Africa. And we are sinking deeper and deeper into chaos. We have got the potential in terms of the material wealth, and we had the people who were well educated at independence to have attained that position. We did not, because instead of becoming a democratic nation where those in positions of power and authority were accountable to the people, we became a de facto one-party state, where those in positions of power and authority were able to rig the elections, stay in power, and do as they please. And these are the consequences of it. 43 years of gross mismanagement and rampant corruption. This is what you get. The country is in a serious economic mess. The political repression has been absolutely unacceptable. And right now, we can't even hold free, fair, and credible elections. This is pathetic. 43 years after independence, and we still can't hold free and fair elections.
Please continue.
Yeah, I think this, when I first saw the article that Al Jazeera is going to produce this 4-part documentary on the looting in Zimbabwe, I was looking forward to it. I didn't realize that you have played a major role in it, but I'm so pleased that you did, because this is what it's all about. We need to look ourselves in the mirror and say to ourselves, this is unacceptable. How can we be so wasteful of our resources? And remember, the other thing that I would like to mention here is that people tend to forget that the individuals benefit from this gold smuggling and so forth, but the other big beneficiary of it are those in positions of power and authority. It won't be surprising to find the gold fathers of that corruption are SANU-PF leaders themselves. And they use some of that looted wealth to bankroll the election. I was talking earlier on about election failing to hold free and fair and credible elections. When one party, ZANU-PF, is able to call upon some of the beneficiaries of all this wholesale looting to say, well, we've got the election, can you help fund us? Where the opposition can raise $1. These people are able to raise as much as $1,000 plus. And how can you compete with somebody like that? That is part of the rigging of the elections. You know, you have got to struggle to raise $1, and they can easily raise $1,000. And they use some of that to buy votes, to blackmail people, and to buy loyalty. You know, some of the chiefs and headsmen are being paid off so that they are now effectively ZANU-PF commissars. That is what we are talking about here. And I think Zimbabweans should really wake up. And I honestly hope the Zimbabweans are going to pay serious attention and follow this story and give it the effort that it rightly deserves.
Wilbert, I think people are so impatient now, they just want to see it. They want to watch it. I don't know if people are going to sleep today.
Well, the webcast is going to be at 10 a.m. And I think people should really make an effort and also listen to the television broadcast. And I suppose they will also tell you part 2, when will it be aired, and so forth.
Yes, so part 2, Wilbert, is going to be on the 9th. So it's today is the 2nd. The part 2 will be on the 9th, then the 16th, and then the 23rd. Let me just repeat this. Right. Here we go. Once again, to get the dates right.
And I think Zimbabweans, I would strongly urge those who have got the opportunity to listen to it. And if there's an opportunity to give feedback, because that is what journalism is all about. You know, the people who write the story, they want to hear that somebody out there is listening to it and is finding it interesting, and they take the time to respond to it. You know, if he's asking for further clarification, you know, post your comments. This is in Zimbabwe's national interest. We cannot sweep things like that under the carpet. We have swept them under the carpet for far too long. The likely outcome of this program will be, no doubt, some of those involved probably will be arrested. But it's the usual stuff, catch and release. We all know that only too well. You know, people who have been caught with gold, diamonds, and so forth, they get arrested, but sooner or later they get released. And then you hear that there's no evidence. How can that be possible? You know, the evidence is there, of course, but invariably there would be some big fish involved and they don't want their names to be revealed. So the whole thing is squashed. But the country Zimbabwe cannot afford it. That is the truth. When you've got nearly 50% of the population now living in abject poverty, that is how serious the situation in Zimbabwe is. We have got people who are finding it very difficult to have a decent meal a day. They can't afford it. And yet we are losing billions of dollars to gold smugglers, gold alone. What about diamonds? What about lithium? There was an article last week where somebody was saying from Bikita Minerals, the Chinese are exporting as much as 500 tons of lithium ore a day. Yet lithium, according to the government's own law, they are saying it should not be exported as ore. It should be processed in Zimbabwe to create more jobs. And many countries with lithium are doing the same thing because that is where you get more benefit from it. If you export it as ore, that's the cheapest you'll get for it. And in this particular case, if the same looting is happening in lithium as is happening in gold, Zimbabweans are not getting anything for that lithium. And it's all going out of the country.
Wow. Wilbert, I can't wait. As I said before, to those who came in late here, to me, this is the conclusion of a four-year painstaking period. And during this period, I have witnessed real hardcore journalism, and
I'm pleased. I'm really pleased that you stayed the course on this one, Simba. Honestly, because this is the kind of story that the country has been desperately in need of.
Well, Wilbert, let's thank the Al Jazeera News Network, because remember, as I told you before, Wilbert, even though I triggered the whole interest around the first character there, in the investigation, I must say Al Jazeera, their level of how they've handled this is amazing. They are a great team to collaborate, with, and the integrity is above board. These people, they have a focus on just serving the public, serving the Zimbabwean people and the international community here. What, if followed, can actually fix not just Zimbabwe, but numerous other countries. They cannot be a word to describe the dedication, Wilbert, to accurate reporting. 4 years, Wilbert. 4 years working on this. And Wilbert, I am gobsmacked. I'm dumbfounded. And I'll ask Zimbabweans to go to that day when I phoned this Indian conman who had already been prosecuted in Kenya, and yet has been accepted in Zimbabwe, and yet he's repeating the same trade, this time in Zimbabwe, supplying gold to the central bank. Before, he was supplying to the Central Bank of Kenya. Now he's supplying to the Central Bank of Zimbabwe. And from that day, you contact John Mangujga. What does he do? John Mangujga claims that everything is okay. Nothing bad is happening. I'm like, look, Mangujga, mari kubiwa apa musi kuzoona here apa. Muri kubirwa gold iri. Muri kubirwa apa, musi kuzoona here. And he's writing to me, and he's telling me, no, everything is above board. I'll have a look, but fidelity printers. So do you know what, Wilbert? When you have done that, some people could dismiss you because they could say Simba Chikanza is pursuing politics, right? Yeah. But then Wilbert, look at now later on, 4 years later, bang, and now all this is coming out. Woo! Zimbabweans need to know what is coming out today. You need to know what has been invested in this investigation. It's not cheap. This is not a tabloid story. It's not an H Metro story. This is hard, hard journalism.
Well, I salute you, Simba, and I salute Al Jazeera as well. And I think this is one of the other areas as well, that some of the things in this life, it's like music, Simba. Some of the best musicians, when you speak to them, people like Michael Jackson, you learn that to produce the single album Bad, it took him 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is. People don't appreciate that by spending that length of time, you actually fine-tune it to the point where when it finally comes out, it comes out with a bang. Whereas if you spend a week and you already go to release it, you lose quality in that. It is worthwhile spending 4 years and doing a thorough job, and I am looking forward to seeing this, and I am glad that you did spend that time, and in this particular case, I hope Zimbabweans out there will take this seriously and debate it with the attention it rightly deserves. And I am hoping a serious change in the country will result out of it. This is the evidence of all the talk about, we've got a problem with corruption. How bad is it? You don't know. Who is involved? You don't know. This is one of the things that is wrong with a country like Zimbabwe. Those who are responsible for investigating are not investigating it. Those who have got access to information are not using it. And so you end up with a situation where ignorance is the norm. You have got a vague idea that there is corruption, but you really don't know what is truly happening, or you are too scared to admit it. Well, here is somebody who has done the hard work for you, and I hope that you're going to take it seriously and take it one step further and do something to end this scourge of corruption. And like I said, this corruption is what is fueling the political oppression as well, the vote rigging and so forth. These people are getting billions of dollars to bankroll their vote rigging activities, tax-free. That is how serious the problem is here.
Wow, Wilbert, this is it, brother. Folks, it's 10 a.m. It will be 10 a.m. this morning, and it'll be 8 p.m. Also, watch out for our commentaries. We have invited the spokespersons of these leading political parties to come through and let's comment. Is there any politics in this? And if there is, tell us what it is. Wilbert, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Simba.
Thank you, Zimbabweans. Press the share so that other people can benefit from this and get all the details about the Gold Mafia documentary that today we're watching this first series. Beginning this on the eve of my birthday, just as I commemorate my birthday. 44
Happy
years
birthday,
on
Simba.
44
And,
years on earth, and 44 years and 4 years, yeah, working on this extremely grueling, but big up to the Al Jazeera team. Thank you.
well done, Simba. Oh, by the way, you were also going to post the dates when the part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
Oh, yes. So today is the second, the first one. The other one will be on the 9th. The next one will be on the 16th. The next one will be on the 23rd. Today it is 10 a.m. this morning. This is UK time. And then 8 p.m. UK time in the evening. Okay. And then I believe on the other days it will be the same schedule. 10, and then 8, 10, 8 on the other days.
Okay.
This whole month will bet. Imantrema sports.
Well done, Simba. This is excellent work, and if I may say so myself, I think this is the kind of work where Zimbabweans, I hope, will really, pay attention, sit up and pay attention.
Wow. Wilbert, thank you so much.
Thank you, Simba, and good night.
It's $1 billion money laundering operation.
The gold mafia is bigger than the government.
With financial institutions, regulators, and governments complicit.
Zimbabwe is open for business.
It is the right time to strike now.
In a 4-part series, Al Jazeera's investigative unit goes undercover in southern Africa.
It's black money.
He controls 90% of this government.
Once it's refined, it's practically brand new gold.
Part 1 on Al Jazeera. It's $1 billion.
Turn dirty money into African gold.
I went to jail for gold when I was 21.
I do roughly about $70-80 million every month.
I do 200 kilos a week.
20 to 50 million in a week.
An exclusive Al Jazeera investigation.
There is a hell of a big opportunity to wash money here.
This is Zimbabwe Media, broadcasting all around the world, on the spot, on the dot.